Good evening. So today's been alright actually. I'm surprised. Usually after a night of overeating, I wake up feeling like absolute shit. But no, I felt pretty alright this morning. This light is like, damn. Oh shit. Here we go. It's better. Maybe. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Alright. Woke up pretty good. Went down the allotment, did a couple of hours down there. Actually in a good mood, feeling pretty good. Did quite a bit on Ascent, on my book. That was good. Haven't eaten yet. I will eat because if I just fast, I know I'm inclined to, there's a great propensity for me to overeat tomorrow if I just fast the entirety of today. Last night I kind of almost realised the toxic environment I am living in. It's not that toxic, but it's definitely pretty negative when I consider my family situation, and that also helped me realise. I think this is an exercise for me to improve articulation, but it helped me realise that my past, my upbringing, was even more dysfunctional than I realised. Over the last couple of few years, 3 years ago, I guess I began to realise that I did have a pretty dysfunctional upbringing. And then just talking about it, this meetup group I had the other day, which I think I've already spoken about. The guy was like, "Yo, that's fucked up." It was like a counselling session. I think I said that. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. Talking to this guy, essentially about life and philosophy. But I like making it personal. I'm quite happy to be open with people. Even if I don't, I guess I trust. It's not like all or nothing, it's a degree how much you trust somebody. So yeah, I realised a bit more of that last night, especially the toxicity of the current environment I'm in, and it's difficult to be objective if you're not in a good place. I mean, at the moment, I don't derive much meaning from my life, which is akin to joy, I guess. Synonymous to joy, meaning or peace, joy, whatever. So perhaps I look at things with a more negative lens, through a more negative lens, which makes sense. Thus, it's harder to see things objectively in terms of negative, positive, and perhaps me seeing things positive now is symptomatic of my negative outlook on life in general, which makes sense. It's also important to be aware that I do have this generally negative outlook, which I am aware of, to some extent at least. So yeah, but when I am in interactions, I have had it a couple of times where I've questioned myself, wait, is this actually negative? Is this person being negative, or is it just me interpreting it negatively? And plenty of times, no, it is. Pretty negative overall. Things said, and sometimes I have in the past been aware, in the moment of looking for something positive, will he or she say something positive, and then I'm talking and it's just no, it's complaining or moaning or or then it's just idle chatter. And idle chatter really that does drain me. I really don't like being in idle conversations where basically I'm just listening, where people just talk at me, and I think that's how a lot of people just get by. A lot of people, how they just get by in their lives, they just talk at people and then get talked at, wait for their turn to talk at the other person. It's horrible. Fuck, it really is, unless it's genuine, unless it's coming from two genuinely interested conversation participants, It's just shit. So yeah, I am on the receiving end of conversation some of the time, every day, pretty much every day, and that's from the homeowner. So there's a feeling of obligation, and yeah, that's just me running away from conflict. But that could be my. I guess at the moment, I don't feel I have the. It's not like in the moment I'm questioning myself. At the moment, I'm just accepting of it because it's evidence of my lack of mental strength at the moment. Lack of, in the moment, at the moment, because of like my disagreeable, incongruous life situation. So again, all of these things make sense. I'm just happy to be somewhat aware of them. I think that's incredibly important, probably the most important thing perhaps, because although it's not something I can exactly change in them right now, it'll help me going forth, I believe, and help me in the future if I'm potentially getting myself into situations like this again. Anything else? No, but fucking up last night did make me. Every time I learn something, or today I was going to go on a 10k jog, but I got called and go down the allotment, which is fine because I enjoyed that actually, which is the first time I've ever enjoyed spending time with Dad down there, and kind of like the first time I've really enjoyed spending time with Dad in a good while. And maybe that was actually because I had so much carbohydrate last night. Maybe that is part of it, if I'm not feeling hungry a lot and I've eaten just a ton of carbs, whatever, I don't know, I felt quite good down there today. Not just wanting to just get away from him, as I feel quite a lot of the time. Yeah, what else? I know these are harsh things to say, but they're true generally, It's not like I hate being around him. It's just the anxiety I get and the things he says and how he behaves. What else? Yeah, so one of the things I learned was not to watch movies in the front room because I'm right next to the kitchen and I'm just like food. It's on my mind whirring around. I think that's it. I need to change one of my goals. I should do that at some point. How I journal and shit. I've got one page where I'm doing 4 main goals until February 25th when I go to Australia. One of those was keep the job until January, so I need to change that now. Yeah. The other one is run a 10k non-stop. The other one is reach 159.8 pounds. The other one is finish my book, first draft.